Alright, so, although Darren admitted that it's not actually a race issue, racism is only a small part of it, he's typing up about how they have no choice but to go after the city of Boulder for racism. This man was profiled for looking homeless, and they're still making it a race issue. See, that's the thing. I have no choice but to fight these people. No choice whatsoever. Darren O'Connor is a coward. He has not helped me. His words help. They help to show the mentality that I'm dealing with and the complications that I'm dealing with. See, that's the thing. If I was black, I probably would have been shot. And the detectives in Natalie's case would have ordered pizza from Domino's and tipped Joseph Michael Lopez $20. By the way, Joseph Michael Lopez is the guy who killed Natalie. He was a Domino's pizza delivery guy. This shit all got out of hand because Natalie didn't want to tell the truth. But then again, on her last public post, you get to see the mentality that I'm dealing with. Even after she typed on there that me and her didn't have sex, we didn't have a sexual relationship, well, people still kept typing shit like, he looks like a chimo, he probably wanted to fuck you and he couldn't, so fucking he probably couldn't get it up, shit like that. Alright. Amanda Engeline on one of the posts a few back, or on one of the YouTube videos a few back, she starts typing that, see, this is her assumption, but it's not her assumption. See, she's trying to present it in a way to try to down on me and treat me like I'm less of a human being by claiming that I just wanted to have sex with Natalie. That wasn't the case at any point in time. She was my friend. Now, a lot of you guys got this idea in your head that I'm a certain way that I'm not. I do scream a lot. This is fucking hell. See, when Ogre was having his difficulties with cardboard and she started running around telling people that he was a rapist, I was there for the situation. So I went and told those people, no, Ogre did not rape her. She sexually attacked me first. I wouldn't do it. And then she sexually attacked Ogre. But Ogre is like most of you. Sex on the brain. Sex on the brain. Sex on the brain. He was just happy to be getting laid. Now, I can't say that she raped him because she didn't. He willingly had sex with her. But as far as Darren O'Connor making this a race issue now because Boulder said it's not a race thing, it wasn't a race thing. They targeted him for looking homeless. This is standard procedure, almost. See, once they realized that he wasn't homeless, that he lived in a house, it was already too late for them to turn back. The same shit that I was dealing with. Natalie didn't want to deal with the police with me in the room because she knew that I'd bring up her heroin habit, and she didn't want that coming out. That's fine. Kind of like Lana and Amanda don't want people to know that Lana can cook for herself. She is capable of wiping her own ass. Both of those women get free money. And you don't treat them like they're terrible people, like they're trying to be mooches on society. I have to use a handrail to step off a fucking curb. But these people didn't want to understand. Now with my dad and Lana took shit completely in opposite directions. See, both of them snapped at me until I was no longer talking. With Shannon, she didn't snap at me a whole bunch. Shit, she only snapped at me twice. For bringing up the fact that she's not listening because she's an alcoholic. See, that's where she gets defensive. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic. He drinks too. He drinks too. That one guy that I was treating like shit, well, he got into 2 Jeep accidents. Yeah. So now you're not an alcoholic because other people drink. So that's what Shannon's pissed off about. I didn't put her boyfriend on the phone. I was trying to talk to Shannon, who doesn't listen, because she's drunk all the fucking time when she talks to me. During the day, she doesn't have time. At night, she has time, but she's too drunk and won't make the time. She'll make the time to talk, not the time to listen. Aunt B, with the rheumatoid arthritis that she's got, she takes steroids. Not steroids to bulk her up. Steroids to stop the inflammation. But these steroids are basically methamphetamines in her system. Are they literally methamphetamines? No, but they have the same reaction. Make her talk nonstop. And she'll talk for hours on end about how much, just basically a whole bunch of negativity. And then intermittently she'll say, oh, I gotta stop talking negatively in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name. She keeps thinking that if she keeps saying in Jesus' name, her rheumatoid arthritis is gonna go away. It's not. So she's not thinking right, and she admits it. You know, that's a good thing. But at the same time, admitting it doesn't change it. So she listens to Christian radio. While I'm over there listening to her talk and Christian radio's on, I get to hear a lot of Christian rhetoric. See, people don't want to take my fight because it's too complicated. For me, not having a safe place to sit down and do it makes it even more complicated. I got screenshots that prove that I was trying to get help before Natalie died. I got screenshots that prove that I was trying to get help after Natalie died, but people don't understand. And then they punish me because they don't understand and aren't willing to try. Shannon could have understood the situation if she'd have listened. If she'd have taken the time to stop talking about herself and hear me. See, you can't help somebody else if you're busy talking about yourself. You can't help somebody else if you think that pretty memes are going to fix. Now Derek, not Derek Apodaca, but Derek Parrish. He's Joanna Taylor's boyfriend. He was typing to me that I didn't say nothing about it until after she was dead. I had been trying. Matter of fact, I had made mention to JoJo on multiple occasions. But as far as the terms rape and child molester, well, I took that straight to Maddie, straight to Alicia, and straight to Natalie. You don't do that shit to people. It doesn't matter that they didn't say those things. Natalie never said that I molested her. Alicia never said I molested her. I didn't have sex with either one of them. It's the word stalker. Stalker. That's what fucked everything up. Because of the word stalker, people jumped to the other bullshit. But that wasn't the only slander from Virginia. Alicia told Maddie Boa that I threatened her and her family. I didn't threaten her and her family. If they felt threatened, that's on them. They didn't bother to find out the fucking situation. And that's the problem with all of these people. They assume the situation. And when I try explaining it, it's their turn to talk. Fuck these people. My life is fucking hell. When you accuse somebody of that kind of shit, people do fucked up shit. They threaten your life. They assault you. For me, that brings all of the shit that I grew up in back. Darren O'Connor, he's not going to come forward. He's not going to bring this shit to the news. He doesn't give a fuck about me. Now, sure, he takes the time to listen to me once in a while. Sure, he answers the phone when I call, but he's not going to help me the way that he helped these people because it's too complicated. If you're not willing to do the right thing because it's going to be tough, then you're a fucking coward. If you're not even willing to try. Shannon Alvarado didn't even try to understand while I was there. My dad didn't even try to understand while I was up in Washington. Maddie Boa didn't try to understand. Natalie Bollinger did not try to understand. The cops went out of their way not to listen to multiple people. And I saved screenshots of that. And I saved conversations of that. And most of these people, is it that they won't help because I'm streaming? Or is it that they won't help because they have families? They have jobs, they have lives of their own, and they have 10 million hoops they have to jump through just to stay afloat. Miss Peaches tried to make a report. Aaron Cockerham did too. So did Cara Mia. Did they really, though? Same with Vandy Hughes. The problem is, there's a lot of evidence that shows the shit that they put me through in the jails. And without a lawyer, I can't get any of that. I just have to take the abuse. That's the problem. Is that these people didn't bother to register in their heads how them not keeping their words fucked me up so severely. Fucked my situation over even further. When you make promises to me, when you give me your word, and I jump through your hoops for that word, and you don't keep it, you don't understand how much it fucks me. How much it fucked me for Aunt B not to answer her mail. Not to answer her door. After 2 weeks, she finally answered her door. I finally got my mail, and it's overdue. It's already too late to do anything with that mail. Why the fuck did I have my shit sent there to begin with? I got a piece of mail from Aunt B while I was in jail. Where she talks about how, yeah, it's really expensive to answer the phone. It costs $7. $7 to answer the phone. That's just to check when it's fucking long distance and they send you a message and you're not there and they have to leave a message. It costs $7 to check that message. That's just one of the ways that they fuck poor people. A lot of people don't have credit cards, don't have debit cards. They're too broke. Aunt B's capable, but I'm not worth that to her. The thing is, they took advantage of my disabilities to prevent me from having an honest day in court. I told true stories. And there's a lot of shit that I got wrong, but you know what the difference between myself and Shannon Alvarado is? The difference between myself and my dad is? The difference between myself and Miss Shelley is? The difference between myself and all of these people is that when I got something wrong, I admitted it. Now, most of the shit that I got wrong because I was lied to. I had people who shouldn't have ever been involved. The police should have done their jobs. I shouldn't have had to trust people with a history of abuse. People like Lana Engeline and Amanda Engeline and Jerry Sparks. What they did to me while I was in Virginia was abusive. They knew what it is that I was trying to communicate, and they went out of their way to be shitheads to me and pretend like I was saying that all soldiers should be punched in the throat. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if you punch a black man in the throat, you deserve to be punched in the throat. It's fair and equal. Amanda being in the military? Shit. Yeah, Amanda should be punched in the throat for punching me in the throat. Dan Fabert made assumptions. Assumptions of why it is that I do the things that I do. Instead of finding out from me. And a lot of these people, they're too fucked up on drugs to understand what it is that I'm even asking for. Like Shannon Alvarado sending me screenshots from my own Facebook. I have my Facebook. I don't need screenshots from my Facebook. I can take those myself. I need screenshots from these fucking groups that continue to slander and bash my name. And the fact is, they need to come forward and be honest at this point, whether they're continuing to bash my name or not. The damage has already been done. I want to respect Darren. I'm glad that he's fighting for these other people's rights, but he turned a blind eye to me as well. Well, Sean, there's nothing I can... Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. You could have let that guy know that I was going through the same shit and that I went through that shit before any of these people. I can't function during a goddamn panic attack, and I am stuck having a panic attack because I don't have a safe environment. People are pissed off that I record them. They're pissed off that I tell their stories. Well, I wouldn't be out here in public telling their stories if they'd have kept their word. Tabitha, she can send stuff in texting. That's nice. I'd like to get this Jeep to her. I'd also like to blow my own head off. But I don't get that, do I? See, I want to live. I want to have a decent life. I can't get the things that I had taken from me back. Not without help. The police obviously aren't going to fucking help. When somebody is called a child molester or a rapist or a stalker, people automatically start assuming. They're like, yeah, I'm going to distance myself from that dude. Sean, you need to stop yelling. Really? No, I don't. Because when I talk, you don't hear me. When I talk to you one-on-one, when I make the effort to calmly and collectively talk to you one-on-one, you snap at me. I'm not allowed to say that you might have done anything wrong. Because you are perfect. Everybody is perfect, except for me. I'm some sort of a monster. See, most of these people, I'm not frustrated at the shit that they want to believe that I am. I'm frustrated at the amount of time that they wasted. And the amount of time that I wasted believing them. If I'd have known that Shannon Alvarado was an alcoholic before I went, I wouldn't have gone. Being stuck out on the streets there. Yeah, I don't know anybody there. I took a lot of risks. Same thing at Sally Treon's. And look at what that risk got me. And then there's people like Lana Engeline, Amanda Engeline, and Jerry Sparks. I took a lot of risks knowing our history, knowing the things that they've pulled with other men, knowing the amount of times that I've rescued them from shitty situations. Yeah, I took a lot of risk. A lot of risk. But I wouldn't have had to do any of that shit if the cops had done their jobs. The cops in Nebraska, the cops in Virginia, the cops in Colorado. Now, one thing that Darren O'Connor mentions is protocol. What happened to Zaid Atkinson? They said it's not racial profiling, and they find that the officers didn't do anything wrong because that's their protocol. So Darren is calling on how fucked up their protocol is. If that's their protocol, something needs to change. Meanwhile, I had to deal with that same protocol, except it's not their protocol. That's their protocol when they're dealing with a person in the house who's recording them. That's their protocol for people with houses. Had that man been homeless, he'd have been slammed to the ground like Zaid Atkinson. Or like Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. My apologies for saying the wrong name. And that's the thing, I'm constantly stuck in public. People keep wanting me to do stuff like go to the library. You know, there was a point in time where the library would have worked. Now there's just too much. I have too much anxiety. I have to worry about my gas. I have to worry about the no insurance. Now this is all the help that my dad gave me. If he'd have listened to me, he'd have known that this was just going to fuck me because I have no sustainable income. And without fighting this in court, I can't get a sustainable income. But he won't hear that because he thinks that he's right. He's absolutely not. Meanwhile, he said that I could do the things that I needed to do up there, as far as organizing and taking care of the things to fight my case. But then he's wanting to take all of my time to jump through a bunch of hoops for things that aren't going to happen. The food stamps. Yes, I have food stamps. That's because we went in and we took care of it. But the other shit, getting my disability back so I have a sustainable income. Yeah, that's not going to happen without help. That money would have been better served helping me to get my medical records from these places. Because obviously the public pretenders aren't going to do their jobs. Now, you can't say that Shannon did anything wrong, because if you do, then she gets all defensive. But I'm not allowed to be defensive. You can't even hint that my dad might have done something wrong, or he gets defensive. But I'm not allowed to get defensive. You know, I asked people to leave the Bollingers alone. I asked people to leave Natalie's family alone, but her family didn't leave me alone. And as a result, I'm not leaving them alone. I'm not leaving their names out of my mouth. They need to come forward and be honest. Maddie Boa needs to come forward and be honest. Alicia Bollinger needs to come forward and be honest. When people have a disagreement with me, It's all right for them to treat me like shit. And then they start jumping immediately to the, well, you're a child molester and you fucking victimize women. No, not even fucking close. I am victimized by women. And men. And they're allowed to get away with it because of the same shit that Ogre had to deal with. The difference between Ogre having to deal with this shit and me having to deal with this shit is that when he had to deal with this shit, I was on his side. When Mobley was going to take John Fox up the mountain so that John Fox would never come back down, I stuck up for John Fox. Now, according to Kelly Henson, John Fox is some sort of terrible person. I haven't seen it with my own two eyes, and I did know that when he got locked up, he was locked up for beating up his girlfriend. Her name is Nicole. However, she was killed almost 3 weeks after that. 3 weeks. He was still in jail at that point. How could he possibly have killed her when he was in jail? How is that possible? Meanwhile, people don't want to come forward with mine. A lot of these people, they're friends with each other. They're friends with Matty Boa. They're friends with a lot of these folks. And they don't want to lose their friends in real life. I'm not in real life. We're only friends on Facebook now with most of them. Ever since I hurt my back with most of them. Instead of helping me out because I was overwhelmed, these people did things that made it so that I was more overwhelmed. With Lana, when she was snapping at me, what she noticed is that I was pacing. Yes, I'm afraid to speak. I need someone to listen, and you have shown me that you're not going to. With my dad, he didn't notice that I was pacing. He thought everything was fine because I was quiet. I'm only quiet because I'm stuck in a subservient situation. I am stuck in an abusive situation. Because what I have to say doesn't matter to these people. Shannon may care what I have to say, but she's not going to shut up long enough to let me say it.